and welcome to another episode of A Drummer's Guide 2. As you can see, I've had a bit of a venue change. I say venue change. I've just gone from that room in there to in here because basically I realised that I should probably be recording slightly better audio considering that I run a studio, and it's probably not the best showcase if I'm there just giving you audio from the camera. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Sorry, camera, I love you very much, but I figured get this microphone involved and we'll see if it's a little bit better. Plus, I'm using this audio for podcasts, which definitely it shows so much when it's on podcasts. Anyway, that is why the venue changes happened. I hope you like it. There's just more drums involved, basically. But yes, anyway, so the subject I'm going to be covering today is actually a question from Andy Voyez, and he is asking, what is it like doing the double drummer thing? How does it work? Like, how do you deal with ego and parts and kits and all that sort of stuff? So I'll give you a bit of background to this question, because if you don't know me, then you'll just be like, what in the world is he talking about? Or what in the world is she talking about? So in Kim Wilde's band, we currently have two drummers. Yay! So it's me and a drummer called Jonathan Atkinson, who I've known for a long time, over 10 years now, I think. And we also did Howard Jones together. So, yeah, it's basically a double drummer thing. There are two drum kits set up, and that is how we roll out the Kim Wilde thing at the moment, which is so much fun. Any drummers that are watching this or listening to this will know how much drummers love each other. So to be able to just geek out daily with your mate is so brilliant. So yeah, I would highly recommend it if you get the situation that maybe there might be a two drummer option. I'd say go for it. But I wanted to talk to you a bit of backstory actually, because I realised that. So I've been playing for since 1999. So whenever you're watching this, you can work it out for yourself. But I actually realised that I have had 5 separate bands or occasions where there were double drummers involved. I'm pretty sure, I'm not certain, but in fact, no, thinking about it, 6. I'm pretty sure, I'm not certain, but I think that must be a record. I think that's like not normal at all, but maybe I'm destined to do a double drummer thing. So the first time that it happened was in 2008 when I was playing with a band called The Hours. So the main drummer was already there, and they were auditioning for a second drummer / sort of percussionist. It was kind of this mixed role. And I went for the audition, and this was my first professional gig that I got, and I had so much fun. I can't tell you, the experiences that we had were so mental, and it was such an amazing entrance into becoming a full-time professional drummer. But yeah, it was a double drummer thing, and it's really interesting because that situation, and then there was I'll say 1.5 others after that where it was also a double drummer situation. And this is only a reflection on my headspace at the time, I felt inadequate. I was like, well, I'm not good enough, and I'm just like an addition onto this main drummer who is amazing, still is, or were amazing, because there's been a few. And I really struggled with it, and I was being labelled the percussionist, and it sounds ridiculous, but I didn't want to be a percussionist. I didn't want to be labelled as one. I was a drummer through and through, and the fact that people thought that I was a percussionist was breaking my heart, and I was just getting really I was really pushing against it because it made me so unhappy. And like I say, I was very insecure at the time. I've gotten over it since, so don't worry about it. So yeah, really interesting that it has been like a theme throughout the whole of my career. So as I said, I sort of was very insecure when I was in those bands, and it was the double drummer thing, and we kind of made it work. I was definitely sort of the addition and whatever, but anyway, years passed, and I got the opportunity to work with Howard Jones. And Jonathan Atkinson, his regular drummer, as I say, I've known him for years. We'd become friends like I say, 10 years ago, but really close over the last 4, I'd say, something like that. And Howard sort of had a meeting with me in a back room on a cruise ship. It was so random, so rock and roll, love it. And he just basically said to me, look, I'd love for you to be a part of this. Obviously, Johnny is the drummer. I recognise that you are a drummer in your own right, but what I'm asking you is, would you be up for doing a sort of percussionist's role? And obviously, instantly, something in me just went, "Ooh!" But then I was like, hold on a second. I'm in such a different place now, and you know, I have this studio. I'm established as a drummer, so I was like, actually, do you know what? That sounds like fun. So I was like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. And he was like, you know, I'd like it to be really performance based. You're going to be like playing electronic sort of standing up kit, all this sort of stuff. And I thought, do you know what? I can make this fun. And I did, and I absolutely loved it. Flash forward another 1.5 or 2 years or whatever it was. Same sort of thing has happened with Kim. Jonathan Atkinson, again, has been her drummer for the last 15 years. And then I rock up, hello! But yeah, and now I'm sort of like taking on some of the other extra parts and stuff like that. But again, I've sort of been brought in, and I'm very much about the performance and bringing energy and all that sort of stuff. And once again, I'm kind of like, I love this. Whereas 10 years ago, I would have been like, no, I'm not the main drummer, so it doesn't count. And I'd be really embarrassed about telling people, you know, what gig I was doing and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, there's that. So you want to talk about ego? I had a major ego issue. It was more a insecurity issue, let's face it. Although most ego issues are also linked with insecurity issues. But I got over that, which is good, because life's too short for all that. And very luckily, Jonathan does not have an ego either. So it makes it really enjoyable to work together. And the way that we work it is, so I'll talk to you about the Kim Wilde thing, because it's just the thing that I've done the most recently. So I remember it the best because I have the worst memory in the world. But basically, the capacity that I was brought in was 2 full drum kits. And obviously, Jonathan's been playing these parts for the last 15 years. So didn't really want to change what he's doing. He's done enough work. He deserves to just be playing the parts that he's playing. But what we both did, what I did, what Jonathan also did, what Rick did, and Kim and Sean, their manager, was go back and listen to the original recordings of all the 80s tracks, all those big tunes, and then picked out the electronic percussion, basically. That's kind of what it was, because, you know, there's only so much that a live kit can do. And in fairness, Jonathan was using electronics as well, but it was just for kicks and snares. But the things that I was listening to were things like shakers and like, oh, so we do this song called Blade Runner, and there's this loop that goes throughout the whole of it, and things like 4-letter word, there's this crazy electronic percussion loop. So I looked at that and I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to do that. And each song had these elements. And then luckily on the new album, on Here Come the Aliens, which came out in 2017, it had a lot of like tom overdubs and stuff like that. So I was like, cool, well, I can play all those. That's brilliant. And then by the time we got into rehearsal, basically, Jonathan just sort of said to me, so can I just play all the beats and you can just play all the fills? And I was like, cool. So that added extra things, and it became this dialogue and this conversation, and it was like, oh, do you want to do that, or shall I do that? And now the conversation actually happens on stage, where we're sort of like looking at each other in certain parts. There's certain bits of certain songs where it's like one of us is going to do a fill, but we don't know which one until it gets to it, and it's either just me just going, oh, please just do that, oh, please, because okay, me and him, we like fills the same as each other. We don't like them. It's not that we don't like them, we just love grooves. Like, groove is everything, and just making people move, and we don't want to break that up. So it's always like, go on, you do it, and he's like, no, go on, you do it, and it becomes this quite funny little back and forth, at least to us. Again, like I say, geeky drummers, we love it. We absolutely love it. So that's kind of how we came up with the parts, and it came quite naturally. Like, there's something about playing with another drummer, you do think in a similar way, and well, I think some drummers do. We're just lucky that we really did, and sort of we either ended up playing the same fills serendipitously, or one of us would know to kind of like pull back whilst the other one went, if you know what I mean. Same with accents, same with crashes, you know, not to overbear it, or to overbear it. If anyone's seen us live, you will know what I mean. Kids in America is literally it's just a big ball of energy that's very, very loud, and a lot of that is because you can't turn down drums. So it works so well. You know what? It's just brilliant. It happens to be a really fun friendship first, and then we just happen to play together as well, which is really, really good. So if anyone does get into a situation where there is a double drummer thing, or maybe a drummer percussionist thing, or however you want to label it, I don't know, but yeah, I think if you just sort of like have a conversation, obviously be respectful, especially if you're coming in as the new person, but make it fun, and just have fun with it. If there is a bit of ego that gets in the way, because I have been in band situations where the other drummer has had a bit of a problem with me being there, you just be delicate. It's music, and people are very emotional and are very attached to their role, which I was. That's why I struggled so much being called a percussionist. So I'm sure that I didn't help that situation, to be fair. You got to take some responsibility also. But then just look at the bigger picture. Like, why are you there? You're there to play music. You're there to play songs that the audience want to hear from this artist. It's not about you guys. It's about this artist. It's about that audience. You need to convey that. And that should be the forefront of every decision that you make around parts, who should play what, where. Just that should be your sort of like basis. Anyway, I hope this has helped in some way, and thank you, Andy, again for the lovely question. I'm glad that I got an opportunity to talk about this, because it's always it's quite an unusual, well, I think it's an unusual situation, but as I said, I had like 6 situations in my drumming career where there's been a double drummer or double drummers, and I'm thinking about it now. I'm sure I can even think of more. I can't think of any right now, but I'm sure that there are more than that. Maybe that's just me. Anyway, right. I hope you're having a lovely day. If this has helped you in some way, or you think it will help someone else, please feel free to share this video, subscribe, and yeah, if you have any subjects that you'd like me to cover, please head over and send me an email at info@drummersguide2.com, or you can leave a comment in the comment section below. But I hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll see you again next week for another subject. I can't wait. All right, see you later. Bye.